Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Thank you so much for joining us. Thank you for watching. We definitely appreciate that. If you are in the process of planning a wedding, if you have friends, family members that are in the process of planning a wedding and they don't know where to start, there's so many moving pieces and parts, and it's a big puzzle planning a wedding. And we have the perfect guest to get some of your questions answered. Amanda Young with Memories in the Making has joined us today, ladies and gentlemen, a guest. We love guests. Thank you for joining us, Amanda.
Thank you for having me. I'm so excited.
We have worked with her a lot. She is fantastic. I'm telling you, if you're looking for a planner that runs around, that moves stuff, that does dishes, that cleans, I mean, she is incredible. And we are so lucky to have her here and to have worked with her. So how long have you been planning, coordinating weddings, Amanda?
5 years officially. This Memorial Day weekend will be the 5th year anniversary of my first wedding.
Nice.
So very exciting.
What got you into planning?
So I actually went to school to do planning, but for athletic events. So I worked for the University of Iowa Athletic Department all through school, and that's what I wanted to do was plan events for athletics when I was done, and then I decided that's not what I wanted to do.
The biggest question that I have, and this may be one that's a simple question, but I want the answer from somebody that does this for a living.
Okay.
What is the difference between planning a wedding and coordinating a wedding?
It's a very small difference, but there is some differences. So in planning a wedding, your event planner or coordinator that's with you is actually there kind of from the beginning and helping you plan, helping you choose your vendors, helping you choose what DJ you're going to use, and going to all of those meetings with you so that you can have somebody with you and you feel comfortable in those meetings, another voice for you, if you will. The coordinating aspect of it plays into planning as well. That comes down, we coordinate timeline, that sort of thing, but you can also hire somebody just as a coordinator that comes in maybe about a month or so in advance, and that way we're helping you finalize that timeline, meeting with the vendors one last time, but we're not there planning the whole thing. You're doing that kind of on your own. We just come in, we're there for that day of type of stuff, making sure everything runs smoothly for you.
So I'm envisioning being a bride or a groom.
Yes.
And I'm sitting down and I'm wondering, okay, do I need a wedding planner or do I not need a wedding planner? Like, what are some?
Yes, you do.
what are some things that, as a bride or a groom planning a wedding, what are some things that you don't think about until it's too late? As far as like, I should have hired a planner, because I see a lot of things just DJing and kind of doing what we do. That I see you also doing during the wedding, that I think to myself, like, if they didn't have Amanda here doing these things, like, who the heck would be in charge of doing these things, you know?
Right. Well, and it really is family and friends that come down doing those things. So some of those things are, that day, whether you're the bride or groom, you want to just be able to enjoy your day. Not worry about, did the caterer show up, or did the DJ show up, or who's setting all my centerpieces up, where is XYZ. You want to just be able to enjoy things, and so having a coordinator, somebody that knows exactly what's going on, has been there with you through all of this, it's getting done. Somebody is there making sure that the DJ is arriving. My phone is always on, so if something happens, I'm taking care of it. I had a groom that misplaced the wedding rings, and instead of the bride knowing
don't do that, fellas. Do not do that.
That's not good. But instead of the bride having to freak out about that, she had no idea until the wedding was over, because I had taken care of everything, which the groom appreciated, the groom's mother appreciated. I mean, it just, there's little things like that come up, and that's what a coordinator is there for.
I remember doing a wedding with Amanda, and they have a room flip. And when the ceremony was over, they had to open up the ballroom doors, which a lot of hotels do this. That's completely fine. That's why you should have a team behind you that is willing to do these things. And Amanda and a few other hotel staff members were physically moving a backdrop that was there for the ceremony to put it behind the head table. I mean, it was just crazy to watch. And you don't picture planners doing that. You picture planners, with a clipboard, just checking things off, making sure people are in their place, doing their thing. But Amanda, you get down and dirty. I like it.
That's part of it, and I'm there to take care of everything. And I liken my position as a quarterback of the day. I was in sports, so this is where this comes from. But I liken my position as the quarterback. I'm there helping call the plays and making sure that everybody else is kind of doing their job. But at the same time, if something happens and I need to tackle something, I'm going to tackle it. So my hands are dirty. I'm out there on the field. Just like everyone else is. But you as the DJ, call you the running back, let's say, you're going to do your job. I'm not there to do it for you. I'm just there to make sure that we're on the same page and that things are happening so that the overall event, the wedding, is perfect for the bride and groom and their family.
Yeah, absolutely. I think having that connection that we have as far as going into the actual day of the event, knowing that we communicate the way that we do and the way that we execute, all of this planning, and to have a couple not even really realize that, they just see these things naturally unfold, is pretty much like what we do. Like that's exactly what we want. We don't want you to necessarily notice every single thing that we're doing. It's just happening, especially from like a guest experience, you know. And I talk a lot about guest experience within our consultations that we have, that if you're inviting all of these people to celebrate with you, that it's all about the experience, and the design and the decor and who you hire to do these things definitely plays into that. But to have individuals there that put these things in motion is incredibly important. That's definitely where I've noticed you come in, is you just get things done, which is so important.
Right, and they need to be done. And you don't want mom doing that. You don't want your best friend doing that. You don't want your maid of honor. I mean, everybody is dressed beautifully that day, and you don't want mom moving a backdrop because we need to do a room flip.
Or a bride at the end of the night, having to clean all these things up.
Absolutely.
And that really affects the atmosphere of the party as well. And I'm sure you would agree that if we're DJing and we still have an hour and a half left to go, and they have to be out of there at a certain time, and they don't have any backup to help put away centerpieces, or to put the floral away, or to help put the food away and make it, all these different things. I've seen brides and I've seen grooms in their tuxedos and wedding dresses putting things away, and as a guest, if you see these things instantly in your mind, you think, hey, party's over, the bride's cleaning things up, it's time to go, which you have like an hour left. Why hire somebody to do that?
Right. Hire somebody to do that. Hire somebody. You may want to save some money by having your family help at the end of the night put things away, but it certainly goes much quicker if you have somebody that's directing that knows exactly where those things are, that can say, hey, can you do this and you do this? But that way it's all taken care of. Most of the stuff is done before it gets to that point. All of that stuff is done kind of behind the scenes. We have a plan for it. And that's one of the biggest compliments I get at the end of the night, is when a father of the bride comes up to me afterwards and says, I didn't think it would go this smoothly. How did you make it go this smoothly? Well, it does, because there's a plan in place, and there's somebody who, this isn't my first rodeo, so to speak. And I think that's important. Having the right people helping you and assisting you with things makes your day go that much smoother, because this is not our first rodeo. We have things that we can offer, advice that we can offer, things that we've gone through, like a groom that misplaces rings. What do we do? Or, sound doesn't work for something, or whatever it might be. We're not going to freak out about that, because it's not the first time that it maybe has happened. So
you bet. So if I'm wanting to hire you, I guess what are some of the package and structure, I guess, that you have in place for somebody wanting to work with you? Your options?
So I have the basic coordinator, and I call it day of coordinating, but it's really more like month of coordinating. That month leading up to your wedding, there's a lot going on, and actually probably 2 months leading up to the wedding, there's a lot going on. I'm in contact with each one of your vendors if you didn't hire me to plan it and you just hired me to coordinate it. So have final meetings with each one of your vendors to make sure that we are all on the same page. I know exactly what your plan is that you are wanting for that day, so that we can create that plan together, then doing the timeline, all of that stuff. And then I'm there the day of the wedding all day. I am the first one up and the last one to leave, basically.
She's there all day.
And just, you need somebody who can be charismatic with people, because you run into all sorts of different personalities at weddings. But somebody who is in touch with the other vendors too. That's important, because we work together that night, and you need somebody who can work together well with people. So that's kind of the basic package. And then there's also the planning aspect of it. If you hire me sooner, then I'm there with you, where I can give you suggestions on vendors. I can go with you to all of those vendor meetings. That's included in everything, because that's important to make sure I'm not missing anything either while we're going through this. But also, I'm a voice that is, I'm not getting paid by the other vendors, or so if you have a question about are they being sincere, I can tell you, yes, this is how it is, and so that you have somebody to bounce ideas off of, so
Absolutely.
to speak.
That honesty is really important.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yep. And then there's also a design aspect. There's also that level where you want help with your centerpieces because you have no idea, or does this go together, or should I do this? How should this go? Then that also can be included. So, and I'm happy to mix things around too. It's not just in one structure. Everybody is different. All weddings are different. Even if you feel like you go to a wedding and you see the same colors and the same flowers, everything is different when you go to them.
Absolutely.
So, yeah.
So I like to ask this question with all of our guests.
Yeah.
What do you see trending? Where do you see the wedding industry going? What are some things that you see for like 2016 that you like, get excited about?
Yeah, so metallics are in. I don't see those going anywhere anytime soon. Metallics are in. They're a lot of fun. You can do those elegantly. You can still do those kind of in a shabby, rustic, chic type thing. So depending upon what your style is, metallics are really great. Food trucks.
Yeah.
I love food trucks. They're becoming very popular as well, whether that's for your actual meal or if you have a late night snack, which is a great idea for parties. And there are quite a few food trucks around the area that are willing to come and do those things. And that's a lot of fun for your guests.
I like food stations too.
Yeah.
Food stations, you don't necessarily have to stay seated the entire dinner portion, and it's not the predictable items that are going to be on the plate. Food stations, I just think it goes back to guests loving variety, and things that are different, like food trucks. I love that. And guests, when we make the announcement with that, guys, we have a food truck located outside, zoom, they love it. They absolutely love it. So
it's great. And I think what that kind of comes down to, though, too, is the bride and groom making it their own and what they are like. Absolutely. And you're still keeping your guests in mind, but something like a food truck, that's fun, or food stations. It's a lot of fun. It allows you to kind of mix up with what you're having without having your typical chicken and beef option, which there's absolutely nothing wrong with, but it's a lot more fun. And I think you are seeing brides and grooms, especially with social media now, wanting to do all of these really cool and unique things. And so I think that allows them to do that and really personalize a wedding to them. So.
And what's great about her bringing these things up is that she will help you find these food trucks. She won't just throw, oh, this is really cool. Oh, you should try this. This is really cool. She'll pinpoint the best company to fit your budget, to fit your priorities, which is so great. So if people are trying to find you, if they're trying to get a hold of you, they're trying to look at some of your work, and where can they find you?
So I have a Facebook page, Memories in the Making Events on Facebook. I also have a website, www.memoriesinthemakingevents.com. And I'm on Instagram. Follow me on there. I'm always posting things from events and weddings, different tips, that sort of thing. Social media is really where it's at with things. So
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for coming. I appreciate it.
No,
I cannot tell
you
guys enough how great she is. She has our endorsement all the way around. She is fantastic. So thank you so much.
Thank you. You guys are wonderful to work with. I love them. They have my endorsement as well.
Go on, go on. Awesome. Thank you guys so much for watching. As always, like, share, comment. If there's anybody that you want to see come on, I'll be more than happy to have them. But again, we really, really appreciate you guys watching these things. I think it's a huge, just a tool for couples that are planning a wedding to use and get pure, honest approaches on how we see things. So thank you so much, and we will catch you next time.